Welcome to Build Your Dream Business, brought to you by Solo. More than just a booking app, we're a community for independent pros in hair, beauty and wellness. I'm Katrina, here to bring you closer to real stories of success from the industry's finest and share practical advice to help your business flourish. In today's episode, we talk to Beth. We explore the importance of staying current with nail trends, transforming social media engagement into bookings, and building lasting client relationships. Hi, Beth. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Hi, Katrina. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for joining us. Why don't you kick off by kind of telling us how you got into the industry?
So I've been a qualified nail tech now for 10 years. I trained while I was up at university in Aberdeen, worked up there, loved it. And then I moved back home from Aberdeen, back down to kind of Stirling area, and took a step back, only done like kind of friends and family's nails. And then found myself a graduate job and started working full time, and then realised I really missed nails. So kind of introduced it back in slowly, and now I'm part-time there and then part-time doing nails.
How did you kind of get your first clients in when you decided to return to nails? What was the plan of action for you?
I didn't really put any pressure on myself, to be honest. I did it purely because I really enjoyed it. And I think not having that sort of desperation because I was earning money anyway probably worked in my favour. I just did it purely through enjoyment, and I think that was shown through my work. But in terms of like sort of taking it seriously, all friends and family were kind of roped in to begin with, and I'd done all their nails. And that was like my content really for putting it on social media, so for putting on Instagram. And it was sort of through that, and I think word of mouth mostly, that meant I kind of had people coming in the door. But it was like a slow process, but it was pretty steady. But like I say, I didn't apply that pressure to myself. I was quite consistent, and I think that's why it worked. It worked all right.
Did you kind of carry that consistency through to social media as well? Because you've got an amazing social presence now.
So really, I only focused on Instagram. That was my main focus when I first started out. I do have a Facebook page now, and I do use both. However, really at the beginning, I just took the time to focus on one. I thought to have like one looking really good and, you know, getting that with the highest and best quality work I could do and show that on there. I think that set me up on the best foot really to get clients. And the people like I wanted to try and target were in sort of like early 20s to late 20s, which is the sort of same age group as myself. And I think with so many of us being on Instagram, that was probably the best place to start.
Yeah. How did you decide what kind of content you wanted to post for your audience, knowing that they are people in their sort of early, mid, late 20s?
At the beginning, I did look at what the kind of trends were in nails, and then roped in like my sister and my mum. So I would do those trends on like friends and family, which would then give me the opportunity to take photos, which would then meant I could then post that on social media. So I think by looking at what it is that everybody wants in terms of nails, like what the in thing is and the trends are, and managing to kind of recreate that pretty quickly and then put it onto social media like Instagram, I think grasped people's attention quite quick because people were saying, oh, she's doing exactly what set of nails I would like. I'll book in. So I think that worked definitely in my favour.
That's really interesting, that idea of kind of, you know, being a bit of a trend searcher and, you know, jumping on that, because that's huge for socials, isn't it? How did you go about searching for those trends? How did you kind of make sure that you got your finger on the pulse?
A lot of Pinterest. Pinterest is definitely my friend. Yeah, Pinterest and Instagram again, that kind of For You page is just full of nails for me. And kind of looking at that and what was really popular definitely, I think, set me in good stead to kind of attract the kind of right clientele that I wanted.
That's a really cool way of doing it. So you kind of see a trend that you want to, you know, replicate and show people that you're on it and you can do it. And did you just kind of, you know, grab somebody close to you as a model? Did you offer, you know, existing clients the, you know, specific trend that you've seen?
If there's things I really wanted to do, it's things like my friends or like my family were definitely roped into doing that because they never had a say. I just said, this is what I want to do. Please let me do it on your nails. and they let me do it otherwise. Because I realised with clients, when they say to you, do whatever you want, that's not what they mean. Do you like these colours? And they're like, no, I only like this one. And you go, right, okay. And I'm like, no, do you like French tip? Do you like this design? Do you like this print? And they're like, not really. So I did find that definitely roping in family and friends to do the things that I really wanted to do that I think would have been popular was definitely the winning choice, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, so if you want to show to, you know, your followers that you can do something and that this trend that's out there, you can be the go-to person for it, you kind of can't wait around for somebody to request it. You got to, take that content creation, I guess, in your own hands. What's your setup? What's your, you know, lighting setup? What camera do you use? How do you make them look so?
I have an iPhone 12 and I take everything on that phone. But if it's nice outside, I snap up that opportunity to go outside and take a photo because nothing beats the sort of like the natural sunlight out there. So yeah, if it's sunny, my clients definitely know that they're having to stand outside, so I take a photo of their nails or their videos. When it's dark though, or the weather's terrible and I'll just not get as good a quality photo outside, then I have a ring light that gets kind of hovered over their nails, and I always zoom in on my phone as well. So I always take it on the photo setting and I always zoom it into sort of 1.4, 1.5. I just feel that gives you a really clear look and you can see right around your cuticles and you can see like a really high quality what the image looks like.
Yeah, I mean, you can really tell. Like that's exactly it. You can see the detailing of, you know, how good the prep has been, and a lot of people do look out for that. Do you use any sort of editing software or anything like that?
When I upload onto Instagram, I will edit it on Instagram. Maybe just turn up the lightness or the saturation a wee bit. But apart from that, not really. I try and leave the images kind of true as what it is. Just because we use colour and stuff like that, I don't want to change. By changing that, it's going to impact on what the colour looks like. So I try to leave that alone and just try and get as clear an image as I can that needs very little editing onto it.
Yeah. Make sure it's clean to start with and you don't have to worry about anything after. How do you sort of make sure that you're turning those beautiful posts into actual bookings for you? Like, is there a sort of call to action on your posts? How do you get people to book through your socials?
So I never used to do anything like that. I used to just post a photo, put 30 hashtags and just a wee line saying, I don't know, French tips or whatever the image is. But then I take a bit more time over that now, so I kind of think of a title. I love a pun.
Who does it?
Yeah, if I can get a pun in my post, then I feel like I'm winning.
Do you feel the puns to get more bookings? Is there have you noticed?
Yeah, it's my favourite thing, and it just makes me chuckle. So I definitely, if I can get a pun in there, I will. Then I would write the kind of the products and things that I use. And then always lastly, I kind of always say to book, either can message or you can click through my link on my bio. So really, yeah, I always kind of leave that and make a point of leaving that at the end to say this is where I am if you want to book me type thing.
Yeah. Would you say that you've actually got kind of more bookings in the diary since you started doing that?
Yeah.
It just shows that it does work, just kind of adding that call to action, that quick line, just reminding people that you are a bookable person rather than just a content creator, because a few people are, aren't there?
Yeah, well, that's it. I think as well, you need to make it so easy for clients, because I think some people are unsure, maybe they're not taking any new clients on. So I think to have that line at the end just shows that, yes, I'm still here and I'm willing to take you on if you need me.
Yeah, and that's such a good point with that ease. We just expect everything to be one click away. So leaving that link and letting people know where that link is makes all the difference. Yeah, I mean, we've become so lazy with, having to search for something. So
absolutely.
Do you schedule your posts or do you just kind of put them up as and when? What's your kind of social routine?
Mostly I'll sit down on a Sunday night and I'll sort of plan what my posts are and I'll schedule them. However, if it's been a hectic week and I haven't had the chance to do it, then I'll maybe just do it as I go. I try and aim for kind of sort of 3 posts a week. Sometimes I hit that fine, sometimes I maybe do an extra one, but more often than not, I try to hit sort of 3 times a week, and I try and post Mondays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, and then kind of Saturday mornings. They're the kind that tend to post. But again, sometimes it does change, but that's what I aim for every week.
And do you post at those times because you kind of look to, your Instagram insights?
Again, never used to do that, but it's actually a really useful tool when you kind of have a look and you can see exactly when your followers are kind of most active on their page. So definitely sort of Monday evenings, Wednesday or Thursday evenings, and Saturday mornings always work well for me. I've never really found a Friday works that well. A Friday morning works better than a Friday evening for me. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm not posted as often as I wanted to that week, but more often than not, it's Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Saturdays.
And what kind of content do you post throughout the week? Is it all quite similar, or, do you sort of aim to have different sorts of posts?
More often than not, there'll be nails. Every sort of 5-6 posts, I'll post something a bit different, whether that's a reel or it's something a bit more personal, like maybe about me, or if I've maybe not had as much interest in a certain treatment, I'll maybe talk about that. So I try and focus on other things just to sort of break up that sort of initial kind of look of my Instagram. I think it does make it look slightly more interesting. But in terms of stories and stuff, that's really more like as and when. That most days I'll post something on my stories, whether that's what my kind of current availability is like, or a link to like my booking site, or just things that are interesting, like my dog. All my clients love my dog, so I post her, a bit of me, and that just, I think, helps just keep that interest.
Yeah, anybody that posts their dog, I'm like, I'm going to keep following you. I can't unfollow someone that regularly posts their dog.
Exactly.
This podcast is brought to you by us here at Solo. If you're a self-employed beauty pro, Solo is the booking app that helps you not only manage your appointments, but also build your brand. With Solo, you can create your own personalized booking website where clients can easily view your availability, read your reviews, and even pay deposits up front, giving them a seamless booking experience and saving you valuable time. With everything from consultation forms to marketing tools all in one place, growing your dream business has never been easier. If you haven't checked us out yet, why not start your free trial today? Once you've got these clients in, how do you make sure that they keep coming back to you? Do you have like a retention strategy?
I'm a total chatterbox. And I think in that, kind of 1.5 hours, sometimes maybe more than that, I can really build up good rapport with people. So kind of chatting away, learning all about them. And I think it's that sort of friendly and approachable sort of manner that I try and give that ultimately I think builds relationships, and then they feel more inclined that they want to stay because I've taken that time to sort of find out about them, what they like, what they don't like, what they're having for their dinner. I try and find all that out, and I think it's that sort of really friendly openness that I try and provide that makes people more interested in staying. In terms of like retention rate for clients, I would say 9 out of 10 would stay. I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 people who haven't come back to me for whatever reason. More often than not, yeah, they stay with me.
And sometimes it's so simple, isn't it? Just kind of like providing that personalised service from literally just asking the right questions,
Totally. I think, in that hour and a half, we can go from being quite like strangers to actually being like good friends, because I just find out everything about you and what your holidays are and what you like and what you dislike and what your hobbies are. And, I think from that, they walk away feeling that they've made a friend.
Yeah, which actually brings me on to my next question, which comes up quite a lot. So because, as self-employed professionals, there is such a lovely, friendly relationship that is, almost like a friendship between, your nail tech and the client. How do you kind of deal with things like increasing prices when you've built up such a close relationship with your clients who almost feel like friends? Have you had any price increases recently?
My last price increase was the beginning of the year, but that actually worked out quite well. I went from being totally home-based, working, my studio was in my house, and I was really fortunate, actually. My partner and I, we bought the land at the back of our garden, so we extended our garden and we built a big studio. So I'm really lucky, really fortunate for it. And that almost was a good reason to show that I was increasing my prices, and everybody sort of understood, because I was moving into this building in the garden, and obviously that cost us some money. And I think people were quite understanding of the fact that, I was moving into something ultimately bigger and purpose-built for my business, that everyone was really understanding. So I didn't really have an issue. But in general, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? It's, people I think are understanding that you need to pay yourself a fair wage. But at the same time, you don't want to burden these people by saying, actually, I want a little bit more money this time. So it is tricky. I think giving people plenty of notice and not apologising is probably your best thing. I think apologising admits that you yourself don't feel you're worth that extra money that you're saying that you need to increase by. I think by being sort of strong in your announcement of that, or how you tell your clients as well, I think they have plenty of notice. It's not an issue.
How did you announce the price increase? Was it like an email, an Instagram story? How did you let your clients know?
I first put it on my Instagram story. I have a lot of people that view that, so that's the quickest way to sort of get word out initially. And then I probably repeated myself up a million times, because every time someone sat in my chair, I spoke to them about it and explained like what they get now and how that cost will then increase, like how much that will increase by. Again, I think the fact that you're taking the time to tell your clients rather than just sort of putting it out on social media, and it's just their responsibility to find out, what that is, and that they should have been aware of your increase. I think having that time to just talk to them, I think that's appropriate, really, to be honest. And I think then again, you can't have anybody who's upset about that, because you've taken that time to explain to them.
Yeah, and I bet you lost no clients in the process. I feel like people always fear that, there's going to be this mass exodus because you've increased your prices a little. But, I think it is like when you have built that close relationship and, people do respect you and your craft, people just don't care that much unless it's something absolutely outrageous that they just can't afford.
My price increase last time was not from a place of greed, nor do I think any price increase I do will come from a place of greed. I think it's there to demonstrate and show my worth. And obviously my circumstances had changed in the sense that I now had this purpose-built space, and that needed to be factored into my pricing accordingly. So, everybody was really understanding, and I didn't lose anyone through that.
I feel like this is the story that I hear time and time again, people being nervous about a price increase, and then it's like, maybe one client just couldn't do it for whatever reason. But yeah, there's always such a fear. And then once you do it, it's always fun every time.
Mm-hmm.
Being a self-employed professional obviously requires so much. We kind of covered having to be your own social media manager, your marketing manager, your own accountant at times, looking at your price increases. How do you kind of make sure that you get everything done, especially with you having another job alongside nails? How do you make sure that everything happens?
You just need to plan your life out, to be honest. So yeah, I work part-time within the emergency services, and then part-time running my own business as well. So it does require a lot of planning, which sometimes works really well, and then sometimes I don't have a week that plan. But I think it's really important to try and take that time. I think, what are my non-negotiables? What is it that I really want to do this week? And for me, it's things like, I put my work days in. So when I'm working, when I have clients, and then things like the gym or going running, because, exercise is quite important to me. I think it's essential. So again, I fit that into my week. And then from there, I see what time I have, to be honest. But yeah, planning is definitely essential. And some weeks are fantastic and I'm right on the ball, and then other weeks life's just caught up with me and I've not had a chance to do it. And I can really feel the impact when you don't have that time to sort of plan and kind of know where you're at and what you need to do and how to sort of, smash your week as such. So yeah, planning's definitely the biggest thing.
I think also just kind of being kind to yourself, I guess, when, like you say, you just don't have the time to do everything you want to do, because, the impact of stressing about needing to be everywhere at once, that can have a huge impact on your work as well, can't it?
Oh, massively. I think as well, it used to be if somebody messaged me on social media for an appointment, I would drop what I was doing to answer that email, that message right away and getting booked in. because I would hate to think that, they were waiting, but I think it's sensible and it's appropriate, and it's okay to sort of wait till the end of the day till you sit down to reply to those messages, because it's very quickly it can consume your life, and you need to have that sort of work-life balance. And with, working like on your own business, it's really hard to switch off sometimes. It's so easy to just be thinking about it all the time, and thinking about appointments, and somebody's asked to switch an appointment, you just have all that running through your head. So I think to sort of just take a time for 10-15 minutes at night just to go through any messages and sort any of these appointments or any of these questions out is just probably the best way. You get for that 10-15 minutes to have my complete focus. I can do what I need to do, and then I can switch off for the night and then not have to worry about it.
Nice. Yeah, and like you said, it's carving out that time for self-care, isn't it? You said that, carving out time for exercise is super important to you. That's such a good point, isn't it? Kind of not just saying I need to schedule this, and that, and it's all work related. Like the biggest thing that's going to impact the quality of your work is like, scheduling the exercise and scheduling the rest time. Like it all contributes, doesn't it? That's super wise.
Yeah.
Do you use any other sort of scheduling or any other sort of tools to help you manage your business apart from obviously Solo?
Well, Solo's my number one. Then I'd have to say probably Canva. I love Canva. If somebody took that app away, I would be really upset. So I find that essential. Apart from that, it would just be social media, sort of Facebook and Instagram. They're the two kind of most important that I focus on. So yeah, without those, I probably wouldn't have much of a business.
What do you do on Canva? Do you kind of create all of your social posts through there?
All like kind of stories, everything like that goes on there. If I'm doing a sort of informative post about like a treatment that I've not maybe had as much interest in, or like more telling you about something, whether it be like about builder gel or about gel or whatever the topic is, then yes, I'll upload that and post that through Canva. So I love that you can just put away at it and it doesn't take too much time, and you can keep it all and keep them with your brand. And
yeah, I was going to say, try like sort of your brand kit all set up so you've already got all the right colours and fonts and things.
Yeah, so once you have all that set up, it's actually incredibly easy, and you can make sure that it's all in keeping with your sort of image that you have online. So yeah, probably a very important tool I would really struggle without.
Again, sort of going back to the fact that, you work in the emergency services part-time, are you kind of hoping to go into nails full-time eventually? Do you want to keep the two going alongside each other? What's the plan?
Yeah, I think ultimately long-term, maybe not anything right now, but definitely long-term, I think I'd probably look at going into nails again, maybe more full-time. I enjoy both, but I love the kind of freedom of working for yourself. And I think that's what pulls me towards probably looking to do that full-time.
Yeah, I mean, very, very different. And I suppose perhaps like do they complement each other because they are so different? So you get to kind of use two different sides of your brain, who you are.
Yeah, I actually think as well, like all my clients know that I also work part-time, and I think they feel a sense of kind of confidence, and, they sit in my chair and they know that they can sort of divulge anything to me because I'm sort of a listening ear, and given the job I do, I deal sometimes with sensitive situations. So I think they take sort of comfort in that and feel they can have somebody to speak to who'll probably be quite level-headed and sort of non-judgmental of what their situation is. So I think a lot of them like that too. They basically get a free therapy session.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually so well versed. That's a real niche, isn't it? Just sort of being half therapist, half nail tech.
Yeah.
What was your kind of biggest fear before deciding to, go part-time in nails and part-time in emergency services? Did you ever kind of think, maybe I should just do the emergency services full-time?
Well, you have that security, don't you? I worked full-time. I was in a very stable job, I'd like to think that job isn't going away anytime soon. But you know, I had a chat with my partner about it and it said, listen, I really do want to drop a day. I would love to have a day to drop nails. It's something I could afford to do. So I think because of that, there was no pressure. I think applying that pressure can sometimes work in the complete opposite. You know, you're coming from a place of sort of desperation and worry and, you know, sort of kind of this has to work and there's no option. Whereas again, I just don't put that pressure on myself. I just enjoy it. And naturally, I have people who message me in books. So I took the time to drop the day. And I've done that now since the beginning of the year and dropped a day a week. And yeah, it's been great, to be honest. I'm fully booked that day every week.
Nice, yeah.
So it's totally worked in my favour. And I think that probably given me the confidence to know that I probably could do this full time if I wanted to. Just given how that initial drop in a day worked and how kind of busy it's been, I think I probably could quite successfully be full time and do nails.
So do you think that's kind of the plan for the future? It's just drop a day and drop another day and drop another day?
Yeah, like I keep saying, I'll drop another day. But yeah, I think I need to have a look and see kind of what my shifts are and how I could drop another day and fit that in and what best day it would be to drop. Because right now I don't work a Friday, so I don't know what day I would need to pick. And obviously it would be depending on whether we're happy with that or not. But yeah, I think I'll definitely have a look at dropping another day, I think.
Yeah, I can see having dropped 4 or 5 days by this time next year. It seems to be going very well. Oh, how exciting. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Beth. It's really, really interesting to kind of hear how you built that really, really excellent Instagram account. I'm sure so many tips for people to take away. So thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you again.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, Beth.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favourite podcast app. If you like the episode, why not leave a review or share it with a beauty industry friend? And if you're curious about Solo, you can download it for free on the App Store or Google Play and take advantage of our free trial.